Racing is a NASCAR-inspired iRacing league founded by a group of friends, some of who have been racing together for more than 20 years. They are an inclusive group of sim racers who enjoy competition based on respect for fellow drivers and fun on and off the track. Triple Bypass is building a great community and a place for you to race for years to come. Join them today by visiting triplebypassracing.com.
Shall we begin? Let's begin now.
On November 21st, 2023, the adrenaline-charged Triple Bypass Late Model Series descended upon the Kern County Raceway for the penultimate race of the season. The race was sponsored by T.A. Hood Jr. and On Edge Racing Team and streamed live by our friends at JP Broadcasting. In a race filled with anticipation and excitement, the drivers tackled 105 laps on this half-mile short track, delivering a spectacle that featured 5 leaders and 8 lead changes. The competition was fierce, underscored by 4 caution periods that offered only a brief pause in the frantic racing. The 027 car of Justin Haslett, starting in the 3rd position, emerged as the star of the day, claiming victory in style. Haslett's stellar performance earned him a total of 34 points and sealed his season championship. Over the course of the race, he led for an impressive 35 laps, setting a blistering pace with a fastest lap of 18.63 seconds. Mark Herzog in the 57 machine secured the 2nd position despite starting way back in 12th spot after a disastrous crash in his qualifying heat. Number 40 Ryan Hyatt claimed the 3rd position and led 56 laps, the most of any driver, but a late race pass by Haslett made for one of the race highlights.
Out there, he's trying to run the highline round the outside. Is he going to get the lead? If Hyatt's going to get Haslett's taken it, I think. Oh, he's sweet round the outside.
Ben Harcum and pole sitter Brian Dickens rounded out the top 5. The Kern County Raceway witnessed a thrilling showcase of skill and strategy in this 11th race of the Triple Bypass Late Model Series. As we approach the season finale, the excitement continues to build. We hope you enjoyed this Triple Bypass Racing recap. See you next time.
What up?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome along to the Triple Bypass Late Model Season Finale. It is the final round of this season. It is the Pop In, Pop Out 150, sponsored by, of course, Jeff Slaughter for the Pops Cannabis Pop In, Pop Out. You can go and check them out, I'm sure, here as well. Let's have a look at the quick scores on the doors as they are at the moment here as well. And you'll be able to see that Justin Haslett is out in front and basically is the champion. Jeff Slaughter in 2nd on 288. With Al Corey in 3rd on 275. And Ryan Hyatt, Thomas Haslett, James Honeycutt, Nick Howder, T.A. Hood Jr., Ben Harcum, and Matthew Harmon. So great job from Justin Haslett there as well. And absolutely incredible. 9 wins for him. But let's see what happens with the battle for 2nd place between Jeff Slaughter and Al Corey here this evening. I'm James Parfitt. I'm alongside Dean Biggles here once again, and I think it's going to be an absolute epic race. Over or under yellows, I say 10. Well, I don't know about that many, but you never know on this one here. Biggles, how are you doing, sir?
Good, sir. Exactly. Over and under yellows and 10s. You're incorrect before in the past there, my dear friend out there in the chat there of World. But you never know what's going to take place. Short track, of course, is the one that's going to be the key. It's basically a big just roval. So, James, I think at the moment Al was also saying something about if drivers do go up the road there by quite a bit, look out for the rear front tire, right front tire.
It's due to the nature of the circuit as well here at Hickory. That's one of the, obviously, the characteristics, should we say, of the circuit. I think that's what makes it very interesting. I think, it's going to be a very tight circuit, and it's a short track in general. So it's not very big whatsoever, and I think at the end of the day, it is a 38 mile circuit, 0.5 miles. So it's not very big in conjunction capacity. It only holds 10,200 people. Asphalt opened in 1951. The interesting thing will be the bankings as well. Turns 1 and 2, 14 degrees. Turns 3 and 4, 12. And then on the straight, they come down into 8 degrees as well. So they've got a lot to contend with at the same time as trying to make sure that, they're keeping it on track. You can see from your picture on your screen at one point, and it did look like it was actually just sped up then, but it isn't. It's just the fact of how the nature of the circuit is and how small it is and what we've got to contend with. I'm sure that race info screen will disappear for you to be able to see the actual main circuit as well at some points here. So we'll keep an eye out on that one for the Pop In Pop Out 150, sponsored by Jeff Slaughter. We have just come to the end of qualifying here as well, so we'll make it even more interesting. We've got 130 laps, no tyre changes, caution laps don't count, lucky dogs are on the wave around as well, and it is of course a fixed setup. So 130 laps for these drivers to contend with. It's going to be very, very interesting, very, very exciting. I'm going to say it's going to be over 5, Werrod, and I reckon around about 6, I'm going to say 7 cautions here this evening.
7. All right, James, you're going out on a big call on that one. By the way, congratulations to the fantastic money you raised, isn't it, from the children's charity event that you did just late on the weekend there as well too. I think even your was it your daughter or something that was jumping in on the microphone going,
it was, yeah,
I'm gonna take, oh wow, that's a little beef coming out of the pit road there, isn't it, onto the qualifying session that still is going at the moment there, James. So just a bit of beef. Yes, anyway, you've been replaced, so there you go.
Yeah,
just taking over.
It took me long enough to try and get her off of the microphone. She wouldn't actually get back on. She was so happy about being on there that I could have left her there all the time, to be fair. Had to try and put it in a way and say to her, well, look, other boys and girls want to have a go and listen to Daddy. Well, we'll have to see how, they need to get on as well. It took me absolutely ages to get her off. So, but she, absolutely loved it.
What was interesting, Jack? Oh, there it is. So they're just playing around their food at the moment, and qualifying session's over. There's giving me a little bit of entertainment. Of course, there it is. See, yeah. And well, then again, maybe that's a little exploration, isn't it, there, James, or explanation that your daughter was saying about how, when she was quizzed by the other fantastic commentator about how do you think you get past the cars, and she was like, oh, well, it's easy, you just bump the car off the track. Just as simple as that, isn't it, James?
Well, it is, according to her. You can just drive in and bump her off, and then when she got asked if it was fair, she turned around and said yes. It was.
Yeah, she said yeah. She thought about it for a second. Yeah. It is fair. I'm lucky you didn't ask her about blue flags, but she probably understand blue flags. But anyway, she did a fantastic job as it is. But the most fantastic part of that course was what, £1,500 raised, children's charity.
1,560.
That's again fantastic, isn't it? The community getting behind that one. All for children's charity. The rear end's just gone loosey goosey on that one. The number 40 machine there of Ryan just put the pedal to the metal, my friend. And there it is going on the outside. Once again, these drivers are just eking out to the final dying stages of their qualifying session. You're going to be qualifying drifting like that with 78 machine of Ben Harkham. That's not too bad, I'd have to say. But Justin Hazlitt at the moment has the quickest time there, Mr. James, in a 14.77.
I think that's the thing with Justin as well, obviously with the champion, he's wrapped it up, he's had 9 wins, 10 top 5s, 11 top 10s, the list is endless, and it's just going on and on and on and on and on of things that he's achieved this season. And I think you know, he's a deserved winner. I don't think anybody would moan about the fact of Justin taking it. You know, he's a nice guy. He's gone out and he's on top. It's great. And I think it's something to really sort of praise him for. You know, he's done a good job. It's been a rough season. It's been a hard season. And he seems to be absolutely brilliant with it. So, and also as well, let's not forget, he has set a league record. It's a 9 league race win in a season is a triple bypass record. So, you know, and if he can get the 10th one, that would be even amazing. Of course, on the understanding that he would win, right? So we'll see. You know, he's got 9 wins, which is a league record for a single season. If he gets his 10th, 10 wins will be the league record. So for Justin, a lot on the line. Let's see what happens.
As well, too, James, as he's proven it, isn't he, by getting out there and setting the fastest lap in the race. But we do know in oval races, it's not always about how you qualify. It's about how you're going to finish the result there. After 11 of 12 rounds, that is your result. But more of that battle, you said it was brilliant between Jeff Slaughter, Al Corey, and Ryan, as well as Thomas Hazlitt, James Honeycutt there. Nick, anything can really happen here for the big battle for P2. It feels like that we're still in a Formula 1 season, aren't we, of 2023, where Justin Max Verstappen Hazlitt has wrapped up the championship there by a dominating form. But the biggest battle, of course, is brewing between the rest of the field there. Who can hold on? Jeff Slaughter will have the fan boost out there, and hope so as well, too, because he is our race sponsor here this evening, driver sponsor. Not our race sponsor. Pop Cannabis is our race sponsor. Pop in, pop out. Jeff needs to be popping in out of not pit road necessarily, of course, as you said. You don't take tyres. And Al's going to have to do it. The big boss Al out there getting something done. But Al's qualifying performance down P9 there, James. So a bit of work to do as well. And Jeff is in P8 in the qualifying.
I think it's one of them things with NASCAR in general. Like, if we were that worried about the drivers with the way that they have qualified, I think you could sit here and say, oh, well, Al Corey all the way down in 9th and Slaughter all the way down in 8th. Oh, that's terrible. That's their race done. But we're at a half-mile circuit at Hickory. I think they don't have a lot to worry about. I think that's the thing. You know, they'll have opportunity to move up through the order. There's gonna be a yellow flag, right? You know, we're expecting a yellow flag. We're expecting something to happen, and I think, you know, I'm not worried about it. The only thing we will say is we're only going to have 16 cars here tonight. Matt Perezzini is going to deal with race control, so he won't be actually gridding tonight. Matt's down in 17th there, you can see on the left-hand side, but he'll be dealing with race control and won't be here. This is going to be very fast, very frantic. We've got 14 second laps, and we've got 130 laps. Now, if you times 130 by 14 seconds, I would love to be able to tell you what that is, but my brain is not working currently here as well without using a calculator. So let me tell you how long that is. 14 times 130, 1,820 divided by 60 gives you about 30.3 minutes there as well. So let's take a look at the grid there as well. Not quite sure why it's only showing 9.
It's the race heats. We got 2 race heats. You got to split it up.
Yeah, the 2 race heats. So we got Justin Hazlitt in first, Ryan Hyatt, Brian Dickens, James Honeycutt, Al Corey, Mark Herzog, Thomas Hood Jr., John Crutchley, and Matt Perezzini. They will be the first ones. Obviously, we know Matt's not gridding up, so it won't be any of them on the grid first, of course. So got to see how they get on here as well. 14 laps to go.
Yes, exactly.
We get this underway.
Short little sprint on this one, isn't it, at the moment? So Justin's got to prove everything he can. Ryan, Brian, James, Al down there in P5. Mark, Thomas Hood, John, and Matt for the Evil Motorsports Racing team will be lurking in the background. At some point, maybe, James, we should probably see if we can actually pull in, obviously, our driver sponsor, who's not in this race, in this heat, of course, but he is in the second heat. To give us a little bit of a yarn Then again, we probably have a couple of caution flags, aren't we, to have a bit of a spin. Because these 14 laps are going to go very quick, mate. Very, very quick. As you said, do the math in that 14 seconds, right? Blink, it's over.
Yeah, you're looking at about 3.5 minutes.
Yeah, I was going to say 14 laps. If you said Spa, 7 kilometer track, you'd be like, oh well, geez, that's going to take you like 20 minutes. But nah, it's going to be over and done with before it is. And of course, in the race heats, there is no caution, so it's just go, go, go. If you go off and you're plowing into the fence there, and it doesn't matter because it's a heat. It's going to determine what's going to happen for the main feature race come out, and it'll be our last feature race because it's the finale. First time I've been to Hickory Speedway, I guess, as well as you say yourself.
Yeah, you and me both. I've never been to Hickory before, but to be honest, with these half-mile circuits, they're always very, very interesting. They're always very fast-paced, very action-packed. It's going to be green very soon. It's, look at the iconic Martinsville. It's not very long at all, and Hickory comes in as the same thing. Hickory is the banking is a lot higher than Martinsville, but let's see how we get on. We're going to wait for the pace car. It's going to go around one more time, and then it's going to do that weird 90-degree angle left situation that seems to be happening quite a lot here. As you can see, all of the 7 cars are lined up, ready to go. And he will just bail straight into the pits, and then his first sprint will be done, and will be up and running. Tucked in, there he goes in the left-hand side, and now we're up and running, and now we're green. It is higher, taking that lead there as well. He keeps that low side banking. Herzog's being pushed out to the wall, up on the high side at the moment. He's got Hood tucked in underneath him, but at the higher, Dickens fighting it out. Dickens trying to get his nose alongside. We've got sexy Waltrip painted livery and Honeycutt there. Oh, he's gone and spun him round. Oh, that wasn't very nice at all. Yeah, so unfortunately for him, it was all about going round and round and round. And now, as we'll give the timing tower a minute to settle down, Dickens, I believe, is still out there, or is he in the pits?
No, he's in the pit road.
As well, with Mark Herzog there tucked in right behind him, and Honeycutt in that 76 livered machine with Corey and Hood fighting it out further down as well in that 41 there, Biggles. I was going to say everybody away cleanly, but clearly somebody didn't want to be.
I expected to be elbows out. I expected to go gun-ho, aren't they, to take those opportunities to do it. And Ryan's obviously going to seize that one way up the road there. James got those big gains in the positions there, as well as Mark and Al. Remember, that's crucial for those drivers in the championship. In fact, if anything, Mark going to size up there, Honeycutt there with 8 to go to try to steal that P2 position. I think Ryan Hart's got this one. He's gone, done and dusted, and Thomas down there, and the biggest loser, of course, was Brian and Justin. But here we go, In-N-Out Burger for the pop In-N-Out, 150, actually, more than anything. And back there at the 76 machine, can Mark get anything done to steal P2 in the heat?
Well, Herzog's going to have to try. He's got to get his nose alongside, though, coming off that bank. He can't allow that back end to slip round, of course. Don't forget, they've got some big roughing power in these machines as well. They are literally beefed, and now he's cutting. He's going up, he's going down. He's going to try and cut the back to come back through. He's got to run the wall, slight tap on the wall there as well. He loses a bit of time to Honeycutt. Now he's tucking his nose in there. He's trying to get it cemented down, but he can't just get it latched up. You can see the back end just wants to go round here as well. It's a very tight circuit. It's very up and down, and it's got to make sure he can get that front end stuck to Mark Herzog, but he's doing an absolute stunning job trying to stay here as well with Honeycutt in front of him. And we've got, you can see Ryan Hyatt out in front on lap 3. We've got 3 to go. And there is John the Nodge Crutchley. Of course, if you do ask me, it is the Nodge is John backwards. But there we go. That's interesting information with 2 to go here as well. That's due to the fact that they did have multiple Johns in their series at one point as well. So here we go. Get this done. Get this ready. 2 to go.
Whoa.
Right, Herzog's in the wall.
Yeah, so they say goodbye to that one there for the driver that was battling it out there. So there it is. We probably won't get enough time because Ryan's going to cross that line, get it done there. James will secure that P2 there for our first heat race there. Bingo, job done. Our up there. Remember, it's crucial for these drivers in this championship. They're hunted down by John just towards the end there, and that'll be it actually. So it all went pole shaped for those other drivers, didn't it? Of Mark and late there. Brian, of course. We had Justin that went out early, and Matt. I think Matt didn't even race, did he? I think Matt, you said, was on race control. But that is the results done and dusted there for our first sprint race there, James.
All done. That's about as fast as it's going to be for 14 laps, guys. As you can see, it's literally 3.2 seconds. Here is the grid for the second race, is that as well. You can see Nick Howder, Thomas Hazlitt, Ben Harcombe, Jeff Slaughter, Louis Flowers, Ward Fisher, Mike Weeder, and Matt Harmon. That is the grid. Some heavy hitters in this one. You've got the likes of Ben Harcombe. You've got today's race sponsor in Jeff Slaughter. You've got Matt Harmon there as well. And don't forget to go and check out the Pops Cannabis Pop In, Pop Out. You will, I'm sure, have an absolute stellar time checking them out as well. So, very interesting one coming up here. This will be Heat 2 of this evening before we get into this main feature race. Here at Biggles, the lights are going to be off on a lap time. It's going to be fast and furious.
Oh, I believe we have another commentator, of course, the fantastic commentator of Jacob's going to come in here and call this one there, so I can push the buttons behind the scenes there with yourself there, James. Jacob, welcome, of course. The Pop In, Pop Out 150, my friend, Triple Bypass League, second heat race. How are you?
I'm doing great, Happy to be here, happy to jump in here. I know I'm a little bit late on this, but folks, this right here, this is going to be a fantastic one right here at Hickory Motor Speedway. And here we go. We got the heat number 2 ready to rock and roll. Diving it down into turn number 1. Got Halda right there on the bottom. Now he's going to be able to get clear. You got Hazlitt and Harcombe right behind them. They're going to be side by side. Watch Harcombe getting a little bit loose. Comes down, almost gets into Hazlitt, almost gets into him. These guys right here beating and banging like they're on a quarter-mile dirt track. Well, folks, it's not dirt, it's asphalt, but it's quarter-mile nonetheless.
Yeah, some great action going on here, battling away. They're almost 3 wide. There was somebody's back end stepping out there as well. Fisher nearly lost it on the exit. Coming out of turn 3, it's very up and down here, Jacob. They got to keep their nose in. That back end just wants to slide. They're dealing with the banking on the backside of the corners. You know, it's looking at the 12 degrees. It's looking at the 14. Then they're coming down onto the flat 8 as well. There's a spinner going around in the circle there as well. I think Weeder has just gone round at the back. It's a very tough track for a short circuit. That's going to be the interesting thing that they've got to try and deal with. It's very tough. This first opening heat was very, very interesting. The second one's going to be the same. We've got the 134 run as well coming up. That's just could end up being completely and utterly chaotic, but let's hope these guys don't.
Well, I mean, anybody that knows me, and obviously our producer Dean, he knows me, I love to see chaos. I mean, I thrive on seeing the chaos, and you as well, JP. I mean, absolutely, we love to see it. And it's heartbreaking for the drivers out there because obviously they don't want to have that heartbreak. They don't want to get caught up in any of these wrecks. So obviously they're going to try to keep it as clean as they can. Check out Thomas Hazlitt right here in the 75. Started second, he slid back to third right now, but looking pretty strong right now as we see him trying to see if he can try to reel in Ben Harcombe. And right now, Nick Halda, he started on the pole, and he's pretty much just waxing the field right here in this 13-lap heat number 2 right here. A couple of guys also back here, Lewis Flowers, Jeff Slaughter back here as well. They're just trying to just see if they can manage, try to get back up there and get going. But right now, it's really a fight between the front 3 guys, that being Halda, Harcombe, and Hazlitt right here at this point.
Yeah, I think, to be honest, this probably isn't going to be far off what we're going to see with the race. I think these guys, Halda, Harcombe, and Hazlitt, all the Triple H almost at the front here. As you can see, Harcombe's trying to pressurize him. He needs to get his nose along that side. He really wants Halda off that inside line. Like with anything, the inside line is the fastest line, and if Harkham can get his nose tucked in there, he will just bully Howder out of it. He's not going to hold back on this one, Jacob. He needs to get his nose tucked up on the inside to literally let Howder know he's here. He don't think he's going to have enough time. We're going to be coming around on the final lap here. As long as Howder keeps his cemented to that inside line, he doesn't give Harkham a sniff like a little puppy around your leg, he's going to be taking it here as well. And I think Howder has done a stunning job at holding this one. He's going to come over and take that win. And all he had to do, cement the inside there and stop him coming through. Very difficult trying to go around the outside from this one.
Absolutely, and not to, also another idea here at this track, these guys can go down and cut that apron and try to be able to get that car to turn just a little bit more. So you're probably going to see a lot of that here tonight with guys putting their left side tires down on the apron, having the right sides up on the top of the racetrack, which will make the car turn just a little bit more. Because with these late model stocks, these cars do tend to get just a tick tight on the long run, depending on how they've got their cars set up. I'm assuming this is a fixed race. So if it's a fixed race, then yes, these cars will start to tend to go to the tight side. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a lot of guys getting down there, putting them left side tires, straddle that line that you saw right there just a second ago, straddling that line, have left sides on the apron, right sides up on the top, and just make that car just make it turn, because they're going to have to do something. I mean, this is going to be a long race right here, 130 laps. They're going to be really dogging for it right here, and they got to be able to find something to get going on the long run, and that's something that I can kind of see playing out as we get to the later portions of the race.
Yeah, absolutely. There's the results there. Ryan Hyatt is your winner with Honeycutt in second. That's the first heat results. Crutchley, Hood Jr., Mark Herzog, Al Corey, Brian Dickens, Hazlitt, Perezzini. The thing is that with that, what we were talking about, sticking your wheels down on the apron, as we can see, Heat 2 is the Triple H at the top of Howder, Harkham, and Hazlitt. Then you've got Slaughter, Flowers, Harmon, Weeder, and Fisher. The problem I find when you sit and see cars do that, especially when they're coming out of a high banking corner and they've got that low 8-degree stretch, when they put their two wheels on the inside line, they put it on, the flat of the apron almost. It kind of, I haven't seen it before where it unsettles the car. It's a chance you take. Yes, you can, but it is a chance you take on that one. As we've seen, it didn't work during the heats for one of the drivers who tried it there, Jacob. Whether or not it'll work through the race, I think, to be honest, I think it'd just be cementing that bottom line above the apron to making sure nobody get through. I'd be very surprised if we see people try and run the apron. I'm not saying it's not impossible. I'm just saying it's very, very risky if you unsettle the car coming off. But here's the grid for the main finale, the season finale from the late models. Ryan Hyatt in first, Nick Howder second, James Honeycutt third, Ben Harkham fourth with John Crutchley in fifth, Thomas Hazlitt sixth, Thomas Hood Jr. seventh, Jeff Slaughter eighth, Mark Herzog ninth, Louis Flowers 10th, Al Corey 11th, Matt Harmon is down in 12th, and then on from that one, I'm sure we will see the bottom end very, very shortly. There we go. If by magic, Brian Dickens, Mike Weeder, Justin Hazlitt, Ward Fisher, and of course Matt Perezzini, who we know is not here. He will be doing race control. These cars, you have got 500 plus brake horsepower here, Jacob. They're going to try and spin it on a very difficult half-mile circuit. What do we think we've got to be looking for? What are they going to be able to do? Are we going to get two lines running? Are we going to get single line run? What do we think is going to happen?
Well, and honestly, what I think this is going to be right here, this is going to be some good old-fashioned short track racing. Everybody's going to try to jump it down to the bottom. You're not really going to see anybody try to make any crazy moves all the way up against the fence. You're going to see everybody try to get down on that yellow line. For some of our NASCAR fans, think way back to Bristol, back in the old days, back before they even repaved it or before they redone it and got the banking to where it is now, to where they can actually run a top side. Back then, it was everybody fighting for the bottom of the racetrack, and that caused a lot of people to start getting into people's back bumpers, started getting people spun out. And then guess what? you had a lot of beef going on out there, had a lot of fights going on out in the parking lot, in the garage, all that kind of stuff. Now, hopefully we won't see fights tonight, but I think that's what it's going to be. It's going to be a bottom feeder race all the way to the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Fully agree. I don't think it's going to be a two-tier race. If we are, we're going to be, I think it could be very, very long for some of these drivers, but we're going to be going. Hayes already made that jump, and straight away, he's headed straight down. He's wrapped his nose straight on the bottom. Honeycutt following through. Howder and Hood and Harcum and Herzog and Hazlitt. It's all the H's currently sitting in that front 7 spot. You can see that bottom line now trying to bully out that top line. He's leaving them strung out. They're nose to nose on the bottom. They're keeping that outside line out there. They know full well that these guys can't get in. That car's blinking, not going to help either. He's trying to push it through. You can see Herzog doing the same thing, Jacob. Nose to nose for the cars at the bottom. The outside's going to get strung out higher than my dirty washing, I can tell you that much.
Hyde and Honeycutt, they have separated themselves from the field by a good margin, but now here comes Hood Jr., T.A. Hood Jr., and the number 41 down on the bottom of the racetrack. He has got himself clear, so the first 3 cars have got clear. Here goes Honeycutt, drops down to the bottom, nothing is there, but back behind them, Herzog and Halda are racing side by side. We got a huge pileup on the front stretch. Oh my goodness. Bunch of guys right here. Mike Weida gets involved. John Crutchley slides by. Al Corey is involved. Ward Fisher, I believe he was also got a piece of it. Wow, they just kind of just came around right there, and it all just kind of happened at one time. Let's check it out right here on the instant replay. Here we go. They're going into turn 3. We'll see kind of where this all started. Looks like
the 84.
Ward right there, I believe. Yeah, Ward kind of gets into, I believe that might have been Al Corey right there that he kind of got into, spun him around. And then unfortunately, there's just a bunch of guys back here. You see right there, there was another guy just straight up ran into the back of somebody, wasn't able to check up fast enough. But it looked like, honestly, I mean, from where I'm sitting at, it looked like Ward just drove it in just a little bit too hard and then slid up just a little bit. I mean, he gave him the bottom. Corey gave him the bottom right there. And that's something that you don't need to do. Wow, what hard contact right there for Weida getting straight up slammed in the back end.
Yeah, you see it as well. He just went in so deep. Look at the 84. His nose is going up there as well. And then everybody just, well, they've got nowhere to go. Let's face it. We're running a half mile. We're trying to run single lines. There's nowhere for them to go whatsoever. And unfortunately for Ward Fisher, you've got to look back on that one there as well. The problem is for Fisher, you can see Corey's run the up and down. He's gone up. He's tried to come back in. So maybe Fisher thought he was going to leave him completely the inside. He didn't quite leave him all of it though, Jacob. He did kind of give him a little bit of a look, here's the door, but I'm going to slam it if you're going to try and come through. So yeah, I can see why Fisher went there. I could also see what Corey was up to, and that's what, well, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. The first caution's out, and that was the result. So, you know, tough on them guys really already on this one.
Yeah, absolutely. But I mean, this is the kind of racing that I was talking about, JP. This is the kind of racing that, you know, this is short track racing. This is why, you know, a lot of fans go out to these short tracks all across America, and they want to support their short track any way, shape, fashion, form. It doesn't matter if it's asphalt. It doesn't matter if it's a dirt track. They are there to support for this kind of racing right here, and these guys know it. And these guys, obviously, it's 130 laps, quarter-mile racetrack right here, 0.36, so we'll call it a quarter-mile track. There's not a lot of time. You know, these guys, they've got to go. These guys back here in the back, Ward, you know, Weida, all these guys back here in the back, they know time is short. They are in the back. If they want to have a chance to try to win this damn thing tonight, they have got to go, and they got to take whatever they can get.
Problem is, where risk, there's not always reward, but we're up and running once more. Hyatt, Honeycutt, Hood, Howder, Hazlitt, and Slaughter are your top 6. You can see them fighting over here as well. The interesting thing, the bottom line, keep your nose in there, keep your foot in there. You're going to gain places. We're going to go round again. He's already in the middle. Oh, that was Slaughter.
Wow.
Oh. Well, we didn't go very far on this one, Jacob. We went literally about half a lap, unfortunately, before we're now caution 2 and Slaughter. Do you know the worst thing is? You can guarantee somebody's going to be on his inside. Somebody's going to stick his nose up there.
I will guarantee it right now, and it was the 62 of Lewis Flowers. He straight up sent it in there, did not care from what it looked like. I mean, he just straight up, I mean, I don't know if he missed his breaking point or what he did right there, but he straight up sent it straight into the corner. And I mean, you hate it. You hate to see it right there for Slaughter. I mean, just nowhere for him to go. He's arcing the corner trying to come down, but Flowers just straight up sends it straight in there. Check it out right here. You'll see Flowers. He's in the 62. Slaughter's up there in the light blue 46. And you see it right there. He's trying to arc the corner. But that's a racer's mentality, is to arc the corner, because you don't want to enter all the way down on the bottom, because you're not going to be able to make the corner as good as you want to, and then you're going to end up getting hit in the back bumper. I mean, honestly, JP, it's damn if you do, damn if you don't at that point. I mean, you arc the corner or you get tagged in the tail. Either way, Flowers, he had to have missed his breaking point right there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing is as well, it's good. It's the same thing over and over that we are going to be seeing. I think we haven't got very long. We're going to have a quick chat with the sponsor, Jeff Slaughter, here as well, who was unfortunately involved in that one. Jeff, what's your perception of that last caution?
Just trying to get down to the bottom. I didn't want to get hung up on the outside, and I just got dumped by the 62. I don't think he could check up in time anyways. It was kind of a tight fit.
Did you cut him off, or did he stick his nose up there where he shouldn't have done?
I think it was a little bit of both.
Let's be trying to start a little bit of controversy there, Jeff, and you say it's a little bit of both, so that's not going to help me out, is it? So, Jeff, coming in, today's sponsors of today's race it is. So you brought these guys on board. Tell us a quick thing about them before we can get up and running here as well.
Oh, they're just a great company, great group of people, and they helped me out a lot. So,
well, there you go, guys, as well. Jeff, are you going to win?
We're gonna try, man. See what we got.
You go out and bury it, son. Give us some great action racing. But Jeff, we'll catch up with you a little bit later on there, buddy, as well.
All right, awesome. Appreciate you guys. Thanks.
No worries, man. Take care. Well, there you go, Jacob, as well. That was our sponsor. We're now back on single line restarts here as well. They've called it. Hyatt, Honeycott, Hood, Howder, and Hazlitt fighting away. Single line means they want to get it up and running. They want to get this race going. Now we're on lap 6. We're already 2 cautions deep to the good here. It's now or never. How are they going to get this through? How is Honeycott going to get higher? He's got to stick his nose up there. He's bullying him now as well. That is it. They're going to end up in the wall.
Oh my goodness, wow, Honeycutt sent it in there, and Hyatt tried to get back in the gas, but Honeycutt sent it in there way harder. And wow, new race leader, the 41 T.A. Hood Jr., and we got a caution on the speedway. Holy LJP, it's getting crazy already.
We're 3 laps, 3 cautions to the good on lap 8 here, Jacob. This is just insane. When we talk about the Triple Bypass League normally, you know, they're very clean. You know, we've seen races go 100% green. What is Ward Fisher going on to? This is all on it. Oh, man. I tell you what, no shot of that pit wall coming hurtling past us. That would have been an interesting one. I can tell you that much, because he is not very far away. He does what we think is going to happen. There you go. That's what I was talking about. Remember I said to you earlier on that the two wheels on the bottom, 2 wheels on the top, unsettled the car, and that's what happens.
Yeah, I mean, but that's how you can get the car to turn. It's just obviously you don't want to do it right now. I mean, you want to do it later on in the run when that car is going to get to that tight side, because we know that's exactly how this car is going to end up going. You're going to start putting some heat in that right front tire more than you will that right rear tire, and it's going to start to get tight, and you're going to start to slide up the hill. That's when you want to get down there and do that. I like the way he did it. He just got to do it just a little bit later. Give that car some time. Let's get some heat in these tires, boys. Let's get some racing out here. We already seen some crazy stuff up there already with Honeycutt and Halda. Just absolutely just said, screw it. We're going for it right here on lap 8 of a 130 lap race. But I mean, we've seen some great stuff so far, but going back to what we was talking about, Ward's just got to wait on it. These guys, that move will work later on in the race, but not at this point right now. Tires are still relatively cold, believe it or not. I mean, granted, they've ran a couple of green flag laps out there, but they haven't run a lot of them. Got to get some heat in them tires before that'll start to work.
Yeah, you've got to give him a minute. God blimey, you know what I mean? It's like me on ice skates. You put me on the ice, I'm going to fall over if you ask me to go and sprint round a circle. Give me a minute, let me get my foot in underneath first as well, because otherwise it's just going to go all wrong. And as you say, the move will work. The cars have got to get tighter. You know, he can't be running that so early on as well. We're back to this two-line starting as well. Watch the bottom line. If I was anyone in this bottom line, Jacob, I would be like a puppy meeting another one. Moving up his backside, making sure that outside line can't get in, and just run it and run it and run it until you see him go back the other way, because now we're going to be back up and running. We're on the outside with Honeycutt. As you can see there as well, he's going to get a little bit of a run coming off that wide line. He wants to try and keep them ahead if he can. He's run out that very top line, trying to keep the banking on his favor. But now you can see it. Everybody else coming in the inside. Honeycutt's not quite quitting it out there as well. Howder's trying to push him right. He's trying to push him all the way. He needs the inside as well. He's running him up high. He's putting him up on the line as much as he possibly can here. And Howder has done a great job. Now it's time for Hyatt to do the same thing. He's now trying to string him out the outside. He's got the, oh man, we're not going far at all, Jacob.
No, we are not, and I'm telling you right now, Hood Jr. was running like a scalded dog right there on that restart. He knew he had two hungry dogs right behind him, that being Harder and Honeycutt. They were coming and in a hurry. I'm telling you, Hood Jr., he was driving the race of his life up there at the front, because he knew what he had right behind him. But we'll check it out right here on the instant replay, kind of get an idea of exactly what happened. Not real sure exactly what happened, because I was actually intrigued by it. Here we go. Here we go. Got one actually that went into the inside wall on the entrance. Look like that's the 57. That's Herzog.
Yeah.
Herzog coming off the corner right here. And let's see if he actually got a little bit of a love tap from Jeff Slaughter, which is kind of weird to say. And yeah, Slaughter actually tags him. He tags him on lap 10. He sends him straight around. There it is. Sends him straight around, and then he stopped on the track and brings out a caution.
Yeah. To be fair, he only had to go forward about another 5 yards, and we probably wouldn't have got that. But due to obviously the fact that he's already in the pit lane. So you can see now Slaughter, this is the thing, Slaughter's trying to bully his way in, right? You can clearly see what Slaughter's trying to do. Harmon's trying to come up. He knows, Slaughter knows he's got to get that car in that gap, right? He's seen it there. There's his gap. That's it. He's got that gap. He needs to go for it. And as he's coming way too up on Herzog. He couldn't quite get the car all the way in behind him, and he's clipped his right rear and sent him down into the pit lane. But from Slaughter's point of view, though, Jacob, he had to try and get that car in. He knows that line's got to be there. He cannot afford to be hung out.
Yeah, I mean, he really can't, and that's something that I mentioned a while ago, you know, when Weta and Fisher and all of them was getting stacked up in the back and brought out the first caution. It's like I said, folks, and granted, these caution laps are not counting, as we are back green. Here we go. Hood able to get a very good jump on Halda. Here comes Honeycutt trying to see if he can jump back up on Halda. And remember, Honeycutt sent it in on Halda just a couple of laps ago. So I'm sure Halda is remembering exactly what happened. These guys, they ain't dumb. They know what has happened in the past with one another. But here comes Honeycutt. Here comes Ryan Hyatt. He's trying to roll up here in this number 40, see if he can challenge on Honeycutt for that third spot.
Yeah, he wants to try and get forward. The problem is, all he's got to try and do is just tuck his nose in. You're not going to run a high line. He's trying to come underneath it now. You can see there's the gap. There's the opening. There it is. I thank you very much from higher. I'll have some of that if you're going to put yourself in deep. Now you can see the 75 of Hazlitt's going to come underneath him. And within the space of literally about half a lap, you can see how Honeycutt's lost that pace. You know, 15 lap in now. Let's hope we can keep going and get some green flag running underneath. How long are these guys got to wait for these tires to... How long are they... Sorry, let me rephrase that. How long are they going to have to wait until the car goes tight when they could start trying to push that line that we saw earlier on from somebody who did try it?
It honestly, it varies between each driver, and I think honestly Honeycutt may be trying to play a little bit of strategy and let both of these guys go. I think he let Hazlitt and Hyatt just straight up go right in front of him. Let them go up there. Let them burn their tires up. because if you can save, I mean, like I said, I mean, back to your question, it varies honestly between, you know, driver and everything else. You know, it just depends on how hard you are driving that car. It depends on how much you're getting on the brakes, locking the brakes down, trying to slow down into the corner. You might be trying to lock up the front right too much, and you may slide it. That's going to increase tire wear on that tire. Now, if you're going off the corner, back end steps out. You're going to start burning that right rear. There's a lot of things that's going on, but a long race left to go. I think Honeycutt, what he done right there, just let them go up there and burn them up, just like Ryan Hyde is doing right now. He slips right past Holder, and right behind him, Thomas Hazlitt gets spun. Not real sure if Honeycutt got into him or not, but caution on the speedway with Hazlitt going around, and he did get some help from James Honeycutt.
Yeah, he definitely did there as well. Sweet caution number 5. Same scenario we're going to always see. This is going to be our pattern. If you drew a picture, you draw it over and over, the same thing over and over again. Car behind in too deep, tapping the rear left or rear right, as we saw with Jeff Slaughter earlier on, and that's going to be the result. How are we going to deal with it? Well, they're going to have to be a little bit more cautious. Is it going to settle down? Hopefully, because to be honest, we're not getting very far along the line here, Jacob. We're lap 20 and we've still got 110 to go. And as you can see him just come in here as well. Look at Honeycutt carrying more speed and straight into the back of the 75. Tough one. Always going to happen, though, I think.
Yeah, I mean, but you know the old school's term. I mean, honestly, 8 tires are better than 4, and I think that's probably what Honeycutt, much less what a lot of drivers are thinking right now. And actually, the race director has sent them both to the back. So Hazlitt and Honeycutt, both of them, going to get an EOL and get sent to the back. And looks like we're actually going to bring in Honeycutt. Honeycutt, what was that all about? I mean, did you just kind of drive it in a little bit too hard right there?
I tried checking up. He was checking up quicker than I was, and I did not do it in time and unfortunately make contact.
So there wasn't no intent. It was just kind of just both of you's part pretty much.
Yeah, just close racing and got a little too close is all. No ill will behind it.
And another question that I was going to ask you, you basically let, Hyatt and Hazlitt go right before all that happened on this caution. Was you doing that on purpose, just try to save your tires for later on?
Yeah, I was trying to let Ryan go through and let the other guy, Thomas, go through so I can conserve my tires a little bit because this is going to be a long race.
Absolutely. We'll let you get back at it as we are going green once again.
Yeah, we are. We're up and running. Hood, Howder, Hyatt are your top 3, or Hood, Hyatt, and Howder, depending on which way you want to speak about it here, with Dickens in the mix once more as well. Lap 22, we said it's going to be a long race. Now, he did turn around and say, yes, he did do it to let people through. I don't know. I've never heard of a racing driver move over and let somebody through. I can tell you that much. So, we'll give him the benefit of the doubt there, Jacob, but I've never heard of somebody letting somebody through on purpose.
Well, I mean, honestly, I've heard that numerous times. I mean, think back to like the older days of NASCAR, way before they even had stage breaks. You would see a lot of guys just go ahead and let other guys go, even on a short track. Let them go. They've got their own race to run, because at the time they didn't have stages, much like this race. There is no stages. So, yeah, go ahead and let them go. Let your car come in the way that you want it to come in. Wow, way to check out the wheel movement on that 56, all over the place right there, but he was able to save it. But yeah, I mean, JP, I have heard of guys just letting other guys go, letting them go up there and then burn their tires up, and then hopefully catch them later on, and hopefully they'll let you go by the same way that you let them.
Yeah, well, hopefully they may do here as well, but it's I don't know. I think this race under this half mile is just going to be very short and sweet once we do get up and running. We did a little bit of math earlier on. Trust me doing maths at this time in the morning doesn't always work, but we counted out that it should end up basically taking, give or take, about 35 minutes, right, as long as we run green consistently. Now, we haven't. We're going to be going for a bit longer. Now you can see Weeder again. Weeder's, the thing is, if we go cockpit with him, And you'll be able to see the input that he's doing here as well. He's not just turning once, he's coming back out, turning again. He's trying to get that up and down that we were talking about. He goes in, he runs it up high, he lets it settle, boom, little bit of an extra. Now he's coming out again. You can see he's working that and trying to get that car tucked up that inside. He knows what's happening in front of him at the moment, does Weeder. He knows that Hazlitt and Dickens are going to be scrapping it out, and he's going to get a little sniff of a gap. And he wants to make sure that front end's locked in, and you can see him just ticking over a little bit more. There he goes. He gives it a little bit of a nudge, tries to tuck it in there once more. He's working him off that line, and to be honest, Weeder's doing a stellar job at it because that line's slowly opening up in front of him.
Yeah, but he's going to keep on sliding up just a little bit, and that's going to open the door for Jeff Slaughter. You see Weeder real hard sending it in to turn number 3 right behind Justin Hazlitt in the 027. But JP, check out what they're doing off of turn number 4. I saw Weeder do it numerous times. I even saw Dickens do it a couple of times. They are cutting down on the apron. They're not doing it in this turn, but a couple of times when I was sitting there watching Weeder, when we was on board with him, he was getting down. Do you see it? There he goes. If just by an inch, he's getting down on that apron. But they are getting very close. You see guys way up there in the 3rd spot. Nick Halda, bunch of guys getting down there. These guys, their tires are starting to wear. They got to get down there on that apron, get that car to turn. But as we seen earlier with Ward Fisher, you got to be careful with it. You can easily spin these cars out.
Absolutely. Absolutely as well. Unsettle anything, it will chew you up, spit you out, and say thank you very much, see you later. I can tell you there as well. We're now on lap 35. We're literally sitting on the 95 lap mark. Cars are getting tighter, the tires are getting warmer. We're going to be seeing it now as well. More and more from what we were talking about. Dropping it down, tucking it in, getting that rotation. Using the actual the camber of the track and the camber of that apron to get that spin end of that back end to go round, because that's the best thing that you want here in these late models. Don't forget, your right foot is controlling 500 plus brake horsepower. You're on a half-mile circuit. It's not very long. You need all the help you can get. You can see it coming out of 4 now, Jacob. A lot more are doing it coming out of 4. They're getting that rotation here as well as we hit like 38. Weeder's looking strong at the moment. I've got to be honest, he is looking very strong in where he has. He's just being a little bit of a nuisance there as well with that 27 in front. So Hazlitt's got to be careful. Weeder's working him as much as possible.
Absolutely. I mean, that's exactly how you do it. The clean way is just be a nuisance. Be right on somebody's back bumper. Make them worry. Fill that rear view mirror as full as you possibly can. And if you can fill that rear view mirror absolutely full, guess what? They're going to have 2 eyes looking up there on the mirror thinking that you're going to run into them. Guess what? They missed the braking point, slide up the track, you drive right up under them. Mm-hmm. It is perfect short track racing. That is exactly how you do it. And that's what we just trying to do right now. It's not working right yet for Justin Hazlitt. We may have to get a little bit closer to him to try to scare him a little bit and maybe try to make it work. But up front, we have mentioned him. T.A. Hood all by himself. Got about a second lead right now over Ryan Hyten at number 40. And all the way back, about a 2-second gap from Hood all the way back to Halda and Dickens and Hazlitt and Weeder. All of them getting stacked up back here. Here goes Dickens. He jumps up to the top. Weeder's going to get a twofer right there. He went around Justin Hazlitt and Brian Dickens. Sends himself all the way from 6th all the way to 4th.
Yeah, absolutely stunning. We saw him. He was a pest. He was like the fly you couldn't catch in your kitchen that's hovering around you while you're eating your dinner. I can tell you that much. He was all over it. We said it was coming. It did come. Now it's time for Slaughter. Can he go underneath Hazlitt? Can he leave Hazlitt strung up as well? Hazlitt looks like he hasn't quite got the long run car quite set up here. He doesn't quite look tight enough, which might sound weird, but it's the fact. He just still looks a little bit loose. It's like he almost needs to work his car a little bit more. Get the nose in. Get it screaming at you not to give it to him, but you've got to go and give it to him. He just doesn't look quite tight enough at the moment for Hazlitt, and it looks like Slaughter and everybody else might just come through, chew him up like a fast hamburger and say, carry on, son. He's got to work it a little bit more here. He's got to give it some, Jacob. He's got to give it that wear and tear. Otherwise, it's just not quite going to work. And you can see how Weeder went past there as well as the car behind at the moment. And with Howder went up and hit the wall. Hazlitt's not looking comfortable. You know what I mean? He's not looking comfortable as Justin Hazlitt, of course. Don't forget we've got Thomas in here as well. So Justin's just not quite looking comfortable enough in that car at the moment as we're hitting that 50 mark.
Yeah, I mean, he is absolutely not, but I'm telling you, Mike Weeder has got that 56 straight up, hooked up tonight, son. He is coming and coming through the field, and one of the biggest movers in the field, started 14th all the way up to 3rd. And check out, even with talking about Justin Hazlitt, some of the struggles that he has had. He started 15th, he's all the way up to 6th, and Brian Dickens sitting back there with a P5 right now. He started 13th all the way up to 5th. So some of these guys, even though they did not have a fantastic heat race, even though they was not able to start up at the front, here they are right here in the main. Still a long way to go, obviously, 51 laps of 130, but they are peaking at the right time. If they can peak just a little bit more, JP, they may have a shot to get up here and battle with Hood Jr., who has now been caught by Ryan Hyatt. Ryan Hyatt all over the back bumper. He sends it in going into turn number 3. And don't look now. Here comes the 56 of Mike Weeder starting to slide up behind him.
Yeah, Weeder looks like he's got that car set up for the longer run. He's got it now as well. He's tight as anything. Here we go. You can see it in front of you. Hyatt's pushed him out. Hood's up in the wall. Hood's up in the right-hand side. He tapped the wall on the entry. It's coming through free, and now he's just sliding. He looks like he's lost his car already. He's just not looking comfortable unless he's doing it. As we said, he might be letting him through, but you don't want to look through Weeder at the moment because he's up 12 places. He's looking stronger than a Bison, I can tell you that much here at the moment. And his car is working for him, Jacob. He's in that sweet spot. He's in that prime time. He's in that I'm loving this moment. And if these two guys behind Hyatt and Hood don't get hold of him, well, I can see Weeder driving off here because he's looking strong.
He has been the strongest car that we have seen all race long. 56, Mike Weeder absolutely just shot around Ryan Hyatt and T.A. Hood Jr. He was able to save his tires. Hood not able to save his tires the way he needed to. Check it out once again on instant replay. See Hood way up the racetrack right here. He tried to let Hyatt go. Probably didn't even know that Weeder was just coming flying in there to make a pass. And then not too many corners later, here comes Weeder. Gets a run, shoots down to the bottom. Hyatt tries to jump down and block that. But eventually, he will give way to Weeder right here in turn 1. And Mike Weeder shoots straight around him. And now, it may have actually got a little bit of contact slid up into, Hyatt right there just a little bit. But Weeder, obviously the fastest car out here at Hickory Motor Speedway here tonight. And he is pulling away over a second right now over Ryan Hyatt.
Yeah, he's looking mightily strong. Hyatt Hood's going to be tucking up behind him. Howder, Dickens, Hazlitt, Slaughter as well, all fighting him out. You can see Herzog's in the mix once more. So Weeder, I said it was looking strong. His car is running like it's on rails around this circuit. It's doing an absolutely stellar job. How are these others going to get through? How are the likes of Herzog going to clear Slaughter? And they've got to wait for the mistakes that are happening. You see what Weeder's doing. He waited for Hood to go up high. He waited for Hyatt to slide up high. And he just said, thank you very much. I'll have some of that inside line. They've got to do the same as we go on board with today's sponsor of Jeff Slaughter for the Pops Cannabis Pop in and out as well. Here it's been an absolute stellar race. Slaughter getting himself caught up in an incident on lap 6 for caution number 2 there, where he tried to come down and cover off. And unfortunately, it did result in him going round. But you can see him now. He's working that bottom line as well. His car's starting to work. There's a few people in these top 5 here, Jacob. Weeder, Howder, Slaughter maybe. Looking at making opportunities. We said Hazlitt's not looking comfortable. He's still not running off the apron. He's still running the line as if to say, I just can't get my car in there. He's got to get it down there. Work it. Give it some sun. Give it a little bit. Get it in there, get that tires going, and you might be able to start doing what everybody else is doing. You've got to give it some, get the wear on that car, get it tight. That's the thing, and try and tuck it in underneath. If you don't, well, dear sir, you are going to get just strung all over the place. It looks like he's just about within the next probably about a lap, I think Slaughter's going to get him. He's just not looking comfortable, Haslett, at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, but these guys, they have got to go, like you mentioned, Halda and Slaughter, the two guys that are looking very, very good this evening. They've got to go because these laps are ticking away very, very quickly. 15 seconds a lap. I mean, hell, by the time they blink their eyes, the race is going to be over with. They have got to get up on the wheel. They have got to get up there and get going if they want to have any shot at Mike Weida, because right now Weida, he's checking out from the whole field. He's checking out from even Halda. He's checking out from Hyatt. He is absolutely gone right now, the 56 of Mike Weida. Obviously, if this sucker goes green the way it's looking, no contest at this point, JP. And Weida doesn't screw up, he's got this sucker in the bag.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. There's nothing I'm going to disagree with you as well. We've got traffic coming up. I don't think there's going to be much of a trouble for Weida. It never, ever is in this triple bypass. They normally get their cars not out the way like Formula One, but they do make sure there's an opportunity there for them to remove themselves from the situation. And trust me, you don't want me going on a blue flag rant, even though we are in NASCAR and we even know that blue flags don't really mean a lot here, to be honest. Because if you're a lap down, as we've seen, one caution, you're coming back now, and that's the thing as well. So I don't think Weida's going to have too much of an issue. I think that's Ward Fisher coming down in the 16th here as well. But it's going to be very, very interesting. Weida's look strong. Weida's look tough. If, as you said, Jacob, if it goes green, Weida's your winner. I can't see anybody getting it. It's all of these lot fighting over scraps. You know, it's like that puppy outside your house who's trying to sniff around your feet. He wants some of your crumbs. He wants you to drop them, because that's all they're going to get if they don't try and do something about Weida. But what can they do? There's nothing they can do. That ball is fast. His car's fast. His everything is fast. He's got it running how he wants to. And look at them. They're just lying astern because none of them can quite do anything about trying to get past the other. And the only way they're going to get past the other, as we said, bully him, and do while you're there, more bullying, because otherwise, for the next, what we got, 25, 55, there's going to be a caution. Oh, Perry! Oh! That's the leader!
Oh!
That's what?
Wow, unbelievable. We got a caution on the speedway, and it was Al Corey gets spun around the 45, and he got help from the 62 of Lewis Flowers. Flowers strode up, come right up, basically off of turn 2, got him in the back end, spun him out. And Mike Weida has got to be saying, you have got to be kidding me. He had this bad boy in the bag right here. Then you see Flowers, he ends up getting stacked up and gets slammed by Crutchley back here in the back as well. But wow, I mean, that right there, JP, this could really throw a wrench into this whole deal right here, because we saw Weida, how hooked up he was. And right there, that was the one thing I was worried about, was a caution coming out, stacking the field back up. Now, granted, we've seen Weida. We've seen him just straight up go out here, and we've seen him actually literally check out from the whole field. But here's where it's going to get interesting. Was Reinhardt, was T.A. Hood, was Halda and Dickens and Haslett, all these guys up here that we was talking about earlier, even Jeff Slaughter, was they back there just laying back and saving some tire? Because Weida was going up there. He was putting down some big time laps. He was literally putting down about 3 to 4 tenths faster lap times than the rest of the field. As we're going to actually bring Mike Weida up in the booth. And, you know, Mike, I mean, wow, I mean, you putting on a hell of a show here tonight, buddy. I mean, I'm sure you didn't want to see that caution come out, but what's the car feel like right now?
Well, I don't know what the car is going to feel like after this. I got taken out there, but we'll see. We'll see if I can come back to the front again.
What do you reckon is going to happen here, Mike, as well? Like, obviously, Matt Perezzini on Stewart, and what do we think the situation should be for you? Because obviously, Corey there, I'm not quite sure. Both me and Jacob called it. What was he actually doing coming back onto the track? What do you think the situation should be?
It's no big deal, man. This is all for fun for me. I'm not in these guys' points. I'm just here to have a good time. I was surprised I got to the front, to be honest with you.
Oh, man, you're running strong, and well, I think you're more of a humble man than I would be, even if it was for a bit of fun with Al coming back in front of me, Jacob. I think you kind of agree with me on that one. I don't think we both would be quite as calm as Mike is right now.
No, I wouldn't be calm one bit. I mean, hell, he had it all the way to the front, and now he wasn't able to get it done. But Mike Wheeler will let you go right here as you're going back green, buddy.
Yeah, Wheeler's now gone once more. He's in and he's settling in. I tell you what, that man is calm. Jacob, I would be like a pressure cooker. It'd be like the old time video with Porky Pig where his head goes red and smoke comes out and he's going, give it. That would be me about now, I'll tell you that much, because Mike Wheeler, although it's for fun, Robert, you were wrapping this up, and we called it earlier as well. Hood, Hyatt, and Outer. The Triple H's are at the front of the field once more. Everybody tucked up behind him as well. Literally sitting on to lap 78. You can see Hood is not comfortable. He hasn't done enough on that car. He's just not comfortable there, Jacob. He keeps sliding up and sliding up and sliding up. And the more he slides up, everybody else is going to come through and say thank you very much.
Yeah, and Dickens was really wanting to send it in on Hood right there, but he had to get out of the gas, backed off, almost got spun by Justin Haslett. Up front, Ryan Hyatt still has the lead, but here comes Nick Holden. That number 15's trying to make a charge, trying to see if he can get up here and snatch one from Ryan Hyatt. Right behind him, T.A. Hood Jr. You got Brian Dickens. You got Justin Haslett. Jeff Slaughter. He's back here in the middle of a side-by-side battle with Thomas Haslett as they are battling it out for that 7th spot. Haslett's going to be able to shoot right by Jeff Slaughter and be able to jump up. And don't look now. The man right behind Slaughter, the man that was absolutely rocking and rolling in this race, the 56, Mike Wheeler. It is not over yet. By a long shot, 50 laps to go as Wheeler. You see him getting all bent out of shape. You know that the frustration's got to be setting in. Obviously, had this bad boy in the bag, and you know frustration's starting to set in. Like I said, he's trying to overdrive the car. He's trying to see if he can get back up here and get to Jeff Slaughter any way he possibly can, and try to see if he can get back up here and have something to show for this evening.
Yeah, he definitely, the trophy was in his hands, it was mounted on his cabinet, he was getting a kiss from the pretty girl on the podium, and now he's not, he's sitting down in 9th. He needs to work his car, get it back to how it was running before, get it back on that high, tight side that he had it, get it and mix it up and just go past people like he was. He hasn't got a lot of time. As you said, we were on 78 a minute ago, we're now on 85. We're not going to have long running here, so he just needs to make sure he can get it. There goes Hood again to that high line. He can't make that word. He's lost another place. Now comes through Herzog. For Hood here, he is going down the order faster than an elevator with no brakes, buddy. He is just dropping down and dropping down. Wheeler's now strung out on that high line as well. The Wheeler battle is picking up, and we're looking at the front too with Hyatt and Howder. Is Wheeler going to make it through? I'm trying to check on the back. It looks like he didn't. It looks like he lost a place. Some more H's in the field of Harcum and Harmon, and unfortunately for Wheeler now he's down in 11th. That car might not be driving so well after that damage, I can tell you that much. And it may be that this could just be the end of Wheeler's run.
Wow, and I'm telling you right now, Hood is stacking them up big time back here. The 28 of Harmon almost got into him, almost spun him out. It's stacking up this field way back here, back around the 8th, 9th, 10th area. Harcum seeing if he can try to send it on the top side. Wheeler's down on the bottom, seeing if he can try to make a send, maybe try to advance himself past Ben Harcum. But T.A. Hood Jr., this car is not driving the way that he wants it to this evening. He is in a bad way right now. Here comes Matthew Harmon, able to get down to the bottom, and here goes Harmon. He's going to take a shot. He's going to go to 8th. Here comes Wheeler. He sees the opportunity. He's going to jump down the bottom. Harcum gets into Hood, almost turns him off of turn 4. Everybody's going by Hood Jr. now. He's going all the way to the back of this train here at Hickory Motor Speedway. Wow, big time moves right there by Honeycutt. Almost got into somebody.
Yeah, oh man, for Ben Harcum, I don't know why you're there. Like, I get that you want to try. I don't know what you're trying, to be honest with you, Ben. Get that car beyond Hood. Hood is struggling. Hood ain't even got tires on that car about now. He might as well just run on the discs. He's got nothing. He is off into the shadow realm playing his audition for Stranger Things about now because he's that far out. He's not even been able to try and stop that car. He can't even get it locked in. The front end just looks like it wants to pull him into the wall. He's got no rotation coming out of that car whatsoever. No grip. Let him go. Harcum there. Wow, he strung himself up big style sitting in behind Hood. Hood had nothing. Hazlitt now as well, with Justin Hazlitt here sitting in 4th place. Hazlitt's chasing down Herzog. You can see that Weeder is still up 4 places, not quite where he wants to be back at the front. He's sitting in 10th at the moment. Slaughter's mixing it up as well. The only ones that are not gained positions are your front two of Hyder and Howder, who are in exactly where they started from. We're going into the last 34 here, Jacob. It's going to get very, very interesting.
It's going to get very interesting, and I'm watching this 122 back here of Brian Dickens. He's really starting to put down some lap times. This time right here, 15.4. A little bit quicker than our leader right now, Ryan Hyatt, and also quicker than Nick Halda right there. So I'm telling you, this 122, he is starting to creep up in here in this. He's bringing Justin Hazlitt and Mark Herzog right behind him. And don't look now, Thomas Hazlitt, we saw him up at the front a while ago when he got into it with James Honeycutt. Now here's Thomas Hazlitt. He's going to try to rear his head up here, see if he can get in the middle of this as well. But up front, Ryan Hyatt still got it, and Halda trying to see if he can get to him, but do not count out that 122 of Brian Dickens. He may be in the catbird seat when this thing's all said and done here in the next 31 laps.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think, to be honest with you, the fact that Hyatt, Howder, Dickens, Hazlitt, and Herzog are all running in front of Thomas at the moment, right? We've seen this already. We've seen Weeder have the lead. He's gone back. We've seen others have the lead, and they've gone back. You know, is that a Hood on the outside? Oh, that's Ward Fisher.
Wow, Ward Fisher's going to get turned around right here, and once again, down there on that apron that we was talking about, JP, it is possible to be able to make it work. But, I mean, and I did say, we'll go ahead and say it, I did say that in the later portions of the run, you can make it work. But some drivers don't need to go down there. All right, I didn't mean it literally at that point. But some drivers, they're not able to hold it down there. It is a very, very tricky deal to try to see if you can have your left side tires down there on that apron and have your right sides on the racetrack. It is very, very tricky because it will it throws the chassis off, it throws the car off, and makes the back end come around. So you got to be careful doing that. Some drivers can do it. We saw Weeda do it a couple of times. We see Ryan Hyatt, Nick Halda, a bunch of these drivers. We've seen them do that exact same thing and be able to make it work. Some drivers just can't. I mean, and it's just one of those things. I mean, it really is. This is one of those things of how you got your car set up. And the driver at that point, is he able to make it work down there on that bottom of the racetrack? So some drivers can do it, other drivers can't.
We haven't got really long before the flag's going to be dropping here. We're only going to have one more pace lap on that one. We'll do that quite after on that one as well. My fear of that, though, is the difference between when they were doing it, that they'd gone for nearly 55 laps. When they're not doing it, we've only gone for 25 before the next one. I'm wondering whether or not Ward Fisher's car just was not quite on that edge of balance to be able to cope with that dropping down, Jacob. I'm thinking that he hasn't run long enough. I'm thinking that caution's brought everything back down. It's lowered the temperatures. Everything else has come back into shape because we know we're not running very fast. But at the end of the day, they've gone 25. I don't think that was quite bordering on the 55 that they did earlier where they were all doing it. We saw it at the end of the 55. They were all going down, taking that late out of 4. I don't think 25 was enough for Ward Fisher's car. I think it's still a little bit too loose at that point, and I don't think he quite was able to control that coming off that back end, and that is exactly the result of it. My theory, maybe.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100% on that, because when that caution comes out, granted, you're still going to have the tire wear, but like you said, the temps will come down, and that's going to throw the balance of the car off. But here we go once again. Ryan Hyatt gets a fantastic start. Halda right behind him. Here comes Brian Dickens and Justin Hazlitt. Hazlitt able to get around Dickens. So maybe Justin Hazlitt, who we talked about earlier, his car was not set up the way that he wanted it to. Nope. He was struggling earlier on in this race. Now he's up here trying to battle out for the lead, and we got a caution on the speedway.
I think that's Crutchley. I've got a funny feeling that might be Crutchley here. It seems to be dropping down.
Oh my goodness, what a wreck.
Yeah, Louis Flowers on the 62.
No, what you're going to see right here, it was Harmon and Flowers right here. They're going to go right here on the front stretch. Flowers comes up, and watch this, folks. I'm telling you, if you got some small kids by, do not let them watch this. Watch Flowers 62. Hits the tires, gets slammed, and then here comes Harcum out of nowhere, slams him and flips him over and over on his lid. Bunch of drivers getting involved right here. Harmon gets involved. Harcum gets involved. Flowers on his lid. Wow, you don't see a lot of cars on their lid at a short track. But when you do, it's something to see. I mean, you hate to see that, but it is something to see because not a lot of times do you see a car on his lid at a short track, especially like right here at Hickory Motor Speedway.
You know what? I'm sitting there wondering, right? As you said, we don't see it. You wouldn't see it at Martinsville. You wouldn't see it at other tracks. Do you know that line of fate that's got to line up for something like that to happen? Just watch how he buries in them tires. He hits them tires at such a point that he comes back at that angle, and then he's just shot up into the air. It's a fine line between basically how he's ended up on his lid and how he might have survived it. But Flowers has hit them tires. You can see the 62. You can see him start going on. He goes into the right. There's the tires. Boom! Flips him round. And then all of a sudden, bang! Straight up into the air he goes. And that has got to be a certain amount of things. 2 feet to the left and he would have missed the tires, and that's the thing with that one, Jacob. There's a lot of things that have got to align with that to make that happen, and that was just a freak accident, I think, here as well.
Yeah, I mean, and I've seen numerous freak accidents happen on iRacing, and that is one of those things that can happen right there. And unfortunately, Lewis Flowers has retired from the event, but here we go. Looks like the pace car looks like it's getting ready to pull off, and it does. And Ryan Hyatt, Nick Halda, Justin Haslett, Brian Dickens, Mark Herzog. That is your top 5 as they drive it off into turn 1 and come off of turn number 2. Hyatt able to get a little bit of a gap over Nick Halda. Here comes Justin Haslett, trying to be a little pestering guy right behind Nick Halda, trying to see if he can slide him up the racetrack, and he does. Here comes Haslett down to the bottom. Forces it, able to get around Halda. Now Herzog, now Herzog's going to see if he can try to make a shot as we got a caution again on the speedway. Looks like it is James Honeycutt getting involved.
Yeah, Mike Weeder, they were side by side coming off that entry. And I'm wondering whether or not we've seen what we've seen already and still going to continue to see it. There was literally, they were running side by side at one point. You can see it now. That's Slaughter behind him again. Mr. Jeff Slaughter. Wow.
And to be honest with you, JP, I don't think, that could have been why the caution happened. It could not be why the caution happened, but there was a wreck that happened right behind them, right there where that 45 is. That was when James Honeycutt, he was trying to drive in behind the 45, and the 28 of Matthew Harmon just straight up gets into the back of him. And wow, the 78, we just talked about him as well. He gets caught up in it as well. Yeah, Honeycutt gets in it. Harcum gets in it. A bunch of guys getting involved right here. And to be honest with you, I can't really tell if that was the cause of the caution, because what it might have been, obviously Honeycutt getting really close to Al Corey right there, almost got him in the back end. But maybe they was checking up. Because of Slaughter and Weeda getting involved in that caution, maybe that's why they checked up. And then Harmon was not able to see that checkup good enough. And maybe that's what the caution was for Weeda.
Yeah. Look at the top left. You can just see it start going off there. And it might have been a little bit of a checkup, but I think Harmon may have run it in. And then the thing, you can see what happened after that. It was just literally chaos. But I saw Weeder alongside, and I thought at one point he might have started that run that he had in that first time, that first half stint, the 50 laps we did get going, because he looked like he was coming back. He was sitting in 7th there as well, and I thought he might have been able to get it, but it just didn't quite get there. And unfortunately for Slaughter, he was in the back end of him, and no, because Weeder's there, bottom left. that may have been the cause, because them two hadn't had their collision until they come out of 2. So it's possible that that's probably where the caution lies, and then this happens. So it might have just been an unfortunate knock-on effect that we were going to have 2 for 2. It just depended on who was going to be the main. Yeah, look, there you go. They're going through 2 now. So, you know, tough one, but it is what it is on that one. We go on to caution number 9, and we're back up and running. 25 to go. Hyatt's run. He's literally running away as fast as he can here. He wants to get away from everything. He knows it's all going to be happening with Justin Hazlitt, Dickens, Herzog, Howder, and Thomas Hazlitt. Slaughter's still in the mix. Al Corey's moving up 8 as well. Don't forget, it is Slaughter and Corey fighting out for the championship. If Slaughter finishes in front, he will take that 2nd place. So that's something on the line for them 2 guys as well, as we're coming into the last 23 here.
Yep, and Ryan Hyatt, he started on the pole, and that's where he sits. As we got another caution on the speedway. Try to get an idea of what happened back here in the back. Looked like that may have had something to do with John Crutchley back here in the back. Not 100% sure, but we'll take a look and see exactly what happened right here. No, that was the 28. That's Matthew Harmon, and unfortunately, Honeycutt gets into him, spins him off of turn 2, sends him straight around right there. You see the contact right there with Honeycutt getting into Harmon. Wow, I'm telling you, you know, Honeycutt, for starting 3rd, he's been in a lot of accidents tonight. And you know, JP, you talked about this being the finale here at here at Hickory. He's not making a lot of friends right here at the end of the season right here.
Yeah, definitely not. I'm just wondering whether or not the incident before the Weeder Slaughter one that we thought might have caused it. I'm wondering if it was Honeycutt and Harmon that was the other way round. I
think it was.
Yeah, I think it might have been Harmon on Honeycutt. Now we've got Honeycutt on Harmon. I'm not one to start a conspiracy theory, but just a little love tapped him round there just to get him out. So you can see there as Slaughter finishes in front of Corey. That is your 1, 2, 3. Hazlitt, Slaughter, Corey. Jobs are good and jobs done. That's set up there as it was. And at the moment, Corey is in front of Slaughter. To be honest, I think Slaughter's got to be a long way back for Corey to even remotely think about taking that 2nd place. Slaughter just keeps it on track. Don't forget, guys, check out the sponsors. Pops Cannabis, pop in and out as well. As you say, in your top left corner there as well for Ryan Hyatt. But now the lights are off. We're going to be back up and running. Hopefully we will get these 23 done here. This is going to be a very, very tight, fast, rapid finish. Don't blink. Don't go and get your tea and popcorn. You should have done that ages ago, because you're not going to get chance. 22 on the clock. We've got Hyatt, Hazlitt, Dickens, Herzog leading us away, tucked up behind Howder, Hazlitt, and Slaughter here as well. So let's see how this gets on for 22. As you can see there, Herzog getting a little bit out of shape. 3 cars back as well in that inside-out burger shed delivery machine, and he's kind of getting a little bit bullied as it goes on. But Hyatt, Hazlitt leading away. They're trying to jump with Dickens before they get tied up into the Herzog run.
And Justin Hazlitt really starting to put this pressure right here on Ryan Hyatt. He looks to the top, nothing there. Jumps back down to the bottom, trying to cut the corner. Gets all up in the back bumper. Ryan Hyatt almost gets him sideways as they hit the backstretch into 3 and 4. Hyatt almost gets spun, gets tagged in the back bumper. Here comes Justin Hazlitt to 027, and we got a caution just when Justin Hazlitt was going to end up probably taking the lead and probably the win. Caution comes out right when he was fixing to make it work.
Yeah, he was. I'm in agreement. I think he would have got that. I just don't think now he was enough ahead when that caution come out. Howder and Herzog. That if there was a oh no, okay. So the first one, there must have been that faintest of touches. The second one, he guaranteed he got hold of him that time as well. But Herzog was already sliding, so I'll give him that one for Howder. Herzog was already sliding coming off the corner, so it looked like he was going round. Just Howder may have helped him a little bit.
Yeah, I mean that right there. Now that is completely different than what we saw, from Harmon and Honeycutt. That right there is just straight up short track racing. Both of them guys trying to get in the corner, trying to get every little bit that they can. I mean, Halda, he sends it in there, and Herzog tries to come down a little bit. Halda got him a little bit, but I don't think that actually is what got him that jacked up, honestly, JP. I don't think that's what got him that bad. I think it was Herzog. He felt the bump, and he's like, okay, well, I got to go. He may have just stepped on that throttle just a little bit too early, spun it around right there. And then obviously, I mean, Nick Holla, he was already getting sideways at that point. I mean, both of them were driving, honestly, both of them were driving their asses off trying to see if they could get one up on the other one. But, I mean, in the end, both of them end up wrecking.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like anything, right? If you go and smack a horse on the rear end, it's going to bolt on you. I'm not saying Herzog's a horse. So that's no offense, Mark, if you watch it back and you think I've called you a horse. But it's the same scenario. Well, you've got to cover yourself here, Jake. You don't want to get yourself in a steward's booth, mate. I've been there too many times already. I don't like getting there again. So, but here we go. We're going to be up and running Haslett, Dickens, Haslett as well. We've got Justin and Thomas in the top 5. Can they work together? Can they clear this up as well? You've got the 27 of Justin. He's climbing all over the back of Hyatt as well. Dickens is there as well. Slaughter might be in the mix with Corey. You got Ward Fisher. I think he's running around the outside at the moment. I think Ward Fisher is running around the outside of somebody, trying the best he can in that 84 car. There's a lot going on. We've only got 17 to go here. We're literally going to be technically done as fast as it takes to go to the toilet. Probably don't do that. As you can see, he's going to run. He's going to run around.
Oh my goodness, they touched they all but wrecked right there, and Dickens had to get out of the gas, and that's going to open the door wide open for Thomas Haslett. Now you got Justin Haslett and Thomas Haslett, both of them sitting in 2 and 3, and now Thomas ends up sending Justin around. Big pile up. Jeff Slaughter gets involved. Dickens gets involved. Whole field piled up at 3 and 4.
Oh, no. We talked about them working together. I didn't think we talked about them putting each other in the wall.
Oh my goodness. Oh. Holy hell, that is not what we had in mind right there for all of that, folks.
No.
Wow.
Man, I'm glad they just got Thanksgiving over with, brother, because I would not want to be that turkey on that table for Thanksgiving with the Hasletts having it on that one. I can tell you that much. That poor turkey would have been ripped to shreds. Well, okay, that's going to be an interesting conversation in the Haslett household, right? If we can get another look on that, we'll see just what actually happened. I've got a funny feeling, and I think it was just Thomas running into Justin. I don't think Justin was expecting it. I don't think Thomas expected to check up as much as he had done, but let's have another look back if we can and see, and we'll go and, well, we'll pick it apart. I suppose that's probably what we're here to do. I think Jacob as well, but yeah, I wouldn't want to be in the Haslett household.
No, I mean, I wouldn't want to be neither, but honestly, what it was when they went into turn 1, I mean, Justin, he drives up there and gets into the back of Ryan Hyde, almost knocked him sideways, and Thomas, he's full send at this point. I mean, Haslett, Thomas, that is, just straight up goes in there and just sends it and tries to just keep it in the gas. And then Justin drops down. Like you said, JP, he didn't even expect it one bit that, Thomas was going to be to his inside and he was not going to be able to get there. And then he just ends up spinning him around. And then everybody sees it. And, folks, this isn't Talladega or Daytona, where it's 3-4 lanes wide, Talladega even 5 lanes wide. This is just a very small 0.36 mile Hickory Motor Speedway. This is not that wide. I mean, they're barely able to go 2 wide. I mean, they go 2 wide, but they can barely even go 3 wide here. So when the whole track's blocked, all hell breaks loose at that point, and either it's just stop or start running into people at that point.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head. Although you can see 3 lanes on the circuit, right, you're not going to get 3 cars through that. You have got poor chance of winning the national lottery to get 3 cars on this circuit. We're back up and running once more. If we can get back up onto the lead as well. There you go with Ryan Hyatt out in front. We've now got Corey, Crutchley, Harmon, Dickens, Slaughters all the way down in 12. Remember, I said to you, Slaughter had to be a long way down the order for Corey to take that 2nd place, right? He is a long way down the order. So Corey might have the opportunity now to take this 2nd place away, depending on the score difference as well. I'll do a little bit of digging to make sure that would be the situation. But for Jeff Slaughter, he's got to go a little bit, otherwise that 2nd place could be under jeopardy.
Yeah, and he's going to see if he can try to work his way around Ward Fisher, and then right after that, he's going to have to get around Justin Haslett. And we mentioned Justin Haslett a minute ago. He is not happy one bit with his brother. I'm assuming that's who it is, his brother, Thomas Haslett. And here he goes right here. He's actually going to get around Ben Harcum. So now Justin, he may be on the offensive end with Thomas Haslett, as Ryan Hyde is straight up checked out from the rest of this field. But here is the battle right here. We'll see if Justin gets into Thomas right here. Not able to do it. Thomas may have known that he screwed up right there, and he's just going to let Justin just slide right on by.
I think that's probably the most sensible thing. Let him go through and make it up a little bit. You know what I mean? You give him a little bit of love there as well. Maybe give him a little bit of a cuddle. Let him go through. As you see Dickens sucking up under the inside of Honeycutt there as well. Dickens makes it through. You can see the tightness of the rear. It started to slide and it just didn't want to go in the end. And Dickens does get it straight up and moves up the position here as well. Crutchley trying to hold back as well on the 27 of Justin Haslett, sorry. Surely he's not going to make the outside line work. Surely he's not going to make the outside work. Surely he's not the only man who's going to run the outside line and make it work. Oh my God, he's made it work. Absolutely stunning.
He almost did.
He's going to get him this lap. He's going to get him. Come on, son, tuck it in, tuck it in, tuck it in.
Oh, man, and Crutchley's not going to let him have it. Crutchley is not. He did not want Haslett to have it right there. He was driving every little bit that he can, every bit that 48 had right there. He was trying to not give it to Justin Haslett, but to no avail. Wow, the first guy all night long to be able to make it work on the top side was Justin Haslett.
Yeah, unfortunately for him as well. For John Crutchley, he was the man that got done on the outside as well. So there you go. If you're going to hold a record, you might as well say that was the man that only got driven by on the outside there was Justin Haslett. Well, it just goes to show how well that car's running if you can run that around the outside. We've got 3 to go. You're going to be finding out who your winner is probably in the next 45 seconds. It's looking like it could be higher here as well with Corey and Harmon once more there. So great racing for all of these guys. I've loved this one. Slaughter now. I can tell you Slaughter will take second. There is not a big enough gap between Corey, I don't think, and Jeff Slaughter, today's sponsor with the Pops Cannabis Pop In and Out. So I've got a funny feeling it will be Slaughter's, but I may have done maths, but you're asking me to do maths at 3:30 in the morning, so I'm not necessarily going to tell you it's right. As we're on the final lap of Ryan Hyatt, is he going to come through? We're going to get off that car. We're going to show us a different angle. There he is. Now he's coming over. He's going to come over the line. It is going to be Ryan Hyatt. He's going to take that victory here from the Pop In, Pop Out 150. Ryan Hyatt is your winner without Corey and Matt Harmon. Dickens, Haslett and Honeycutt, but boy oh boy, there was so much going on. We thought we were going to be in for a bad one where we hit 5 cautions by the time we got lap 20. We managed a 55 car run, a 55 lap run to lap 100, and then the cautions come on 103, 105, 108, 112, 116. The only good thing here, Jacob, is we managed to last 14 under green.
Absolutely. I mean, and you know, this right here, this is typical short track racing in the real world. You start out, you probably get a couple of cautions right there at the start of it, and then you end up getting that long green flag run that we got to see, and that, you know, we absolutely love to see. But going back, I mean, granted, I honestly, for me right here, Ryan Hyatt, and as bad as I got to say this, and I might be, you know, stepping over the boundaries here, he got lucky. The way I look at it, he got absolutely lucky that both, you know, both the Hasletts got involved with one another right there, because if they don't get involved with that right there, and then that caution doesn't come out when Justin's side by side with him, Ryan Hyatt loses this race by all means on that. But everything just played right, honestly, for Ryan Hyatt. Everything played right for him. The cautions fell when they did. I guess Thomas Haslett come in when he did, I guess, if you want to put it that way. But Ryan Hyatt, I mean, well-deserved, started on the pole and was able to fight through all the chaos and all the craziness that we saw here tonight at Hickory Motor Speedway, able to get the win tonight. Well-deserved win.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm going to touch on something else with that, Jacob. Keep that thought in mind, what you've just had. Ryan Hyatt is your winner without Corey and Matt Harmon. That's a 1, 2, 3. Dickens, Hazlitt, Honeycutt, Crutchley, and Slaughter, you're 6 to 8. Then Ben Harker, Nick Howler, Thomas Hazlitt, Ward Fisher, Mike Weeder. None of them would have won that race if Weeder didn't get hit from Al Corey. None of them. I am sorry. I still believe it now. If we run that one again with both fresh cars, Weeder runs exactly as he did last time, Jacob. Weeder would have took it. He was dominating, absolutely dominating.
Yeah, that's the heartbreaker to see right there with Mike Wade. I mean, he put on a hell of a race. Started at the back and basically just let everybody else do them. And he let everybody, I mean, he let everything play out. He let all the wrecks play out. He was able to drive up to the front, and he was the fastest car this evening until he ends up getting took out right there at the last minute. I mean, we completely missed it right there because we were just thinking Al Corey just spun out and didn't even know that he ended up taking the damn leader out at the same time when he tried to back up off of turn 2. And that's very unfortunate because, I mean, Weeda, like you said, he would have won this race. I mean, there would have been numerous other guys that could have won this thing. You know, Justin Hazlitt probably could have won it if the caution would have fell right. Thomas Hazlitt, if he wouldn't have been able to get into Justin, Thomas was straight up rolling as well. He would have had a shot to get high. If the cautions wouldn't even happen and everything wouldn't have happened just like you saw right there on the screen, Mike Weeda would have won this race. A lot of things played or basically fell into Ryan Hyatt's lap. Now, let's not, mistake it. Ryan Hyatt, he put on a hell of a race. He was able to get the wed and steer clear from all the chaos that was going on, like I said. But this race could have went way different than it did here tonight. But still, well-deserving win for Ryan Hyatt.
Yeah, absolutely as well. I'm going to bring somebody into the booth who may or may not have something to say. We will be, I will say to you now, Mr. Al Corey, welcome in. How are you, dear sir?
I'm well, guys. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you very much. We have just watched a epic race here as well. I will say, now I've done some maths now, but don't take these as golden because considering it's up us 3 in the morning, right? I've got a funny feeling you may not have caught Slaughter. You may have still been in 3rd place. Do you know anything different to me on that one?
So you mean as the final results?
Yeah.
Yeah, final results, I took P2 and Matt Harmon took P3.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go. I told you, never trust a commentator up us 3 in the morning to do maths because it never works out.
Look, I feel so badly for you guys. We had such a rash of cautions tonight. It must have just been a real beatdown to wade your way through all those yellows.
No, it wasn't, to be fair. I enjoyed it. Jacob enjoyed it. But I do want to have a little chat with you, Mr. Corey. What? Yeah, sorry, sir. I've got to bring this up. Man, Mike Weeder, what happened there, dear sir?
Yeah, so I got on the radio immediately and apologized and said I deserved the black flag for that. That was the 3rd time in the race I'd been punted out of position and wrecked, and I was hot, and didn't think about it, just pulled out and got Mike on track and was full of apologies, and he was gracious enough to accept it. So yeah, that was just a real bonehead move on my part.
Yeah, because we brought him in. We had a chat with him, right? And to be honest with you, he was like, "Yeah, it's all right. I'm only here for the racing." Me, man, Al, you would have been mud, brother. You would have been the name Corey would have been mud on that one.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
You've got away with it on this one as well. At the end of the day, it happens. Mistakes happen. We all get hot-headed. We're in that rush of cautions. Whatever. Do you think, I want to ask you here as well, from watching the fact of what Weeder was doing in that first, we've just watched it back as well. Sorry, Al, to compound your fractures anymore. But do you think as well, Weeder, with the speed he had, he would have taken that win? Because he was looking hot as hell tonight.
So you'd have to tell me. I don't know, it's hard to pay attention to the whole field, but I just hung out in the back getting wrecked all the time. I had no interest in racing up front. I was trying to save my tires for the end. And so I just hung out in the back. I had no idea who was leading. I couldn't have told you at all who was up there until maybe the last 40 or 50 laps, and I knew that Ryan was up there.
Yeah, it was a very interesting one as well. Well done, Al, on your second in the championship there. As I said, never trust a commentator doing maths at R3 in the morning. Going forward, Al, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
Just want to say thanks. I was going to drop in before the broadcast started and say, or before the green flag, and say thanks to you guys and your entire team. Yeah, you've made this season wonderful for our league, and I just want to say thank you very much for all your hard work.
No worries at all there, bud. It's been a pleasure being here throughout this season, well, across multiples of your seasons, should we say. And I look forward to having a chat and seeing if we can catch up about next season, which I believe we're actually doing in about 48 hours' time, Mr. Ow. So hopefully I'll have a chat with you then.
Great. Hey, listen, one quick hit. When you asked me about standings, I was talking about the race standings, not the championship standings. So I have no idea how the championship standings came out. So check. That was me talking about race results, not championship results.
Oh, well, there you go. Now we're completely on a different level. So, hey, a commentator might be right up past 3 in the morning. Awesome.
All right. Cheers, guys. Thanks very much.
Take care, mate. Yeah, he was very humble as well, right? He said he jumped on the radio. He apologized to Mike, and, Mike took it graciously. Come out and say he deserved the black flag. Do we think Matt Perezzini should have jumped all over for him? Because it was Matt Perezzini on race control. I probably would have black flagged him. I've got to be honest. He got away with one there.
Yeah, I mean, he did. I mean, and this is something that I was talking about. With short track racing, this is where tempers flare, and obviously, Al Corey was talking about it just a second ago. He got punted 3 times, and he was pissed off. I mean, and anybody would. I mean, I would be mad. You would be mad. Our producer Dean would be mad. Anybody here in the field. I mean, my dad would be pissed off at that point. Anybody would. When you're trying your hardest and then somebody just drives in there and just tags you in the back end, and that's how it goes. But we're actually going to bring in another guy in here. Looks like that's the 48. That's John Crutchley. And John, I'm telling you, from what we saw tonight, bud, it was a hell of a race. I mean, what was your take of it?
Oh my gosh, it was awesome. I started in the back, and I tried to avoid all the cautions I could, but then I was moving forward pretty quick. I was just saving my tires. I really thought I was going to get a top 3, a top 5, but coming out of turn 4, I was losing the back end, and I don't know. I'm just happy what I did, and where I ended up in 7th, I believe. It was just awesome. I am just overwhelmed. It was a great race, fellas.
It absolutely was. I mean, it was a fantastic race. JP, you got anything?
Yeah, Al, for you, the season, give us a rundown of how you see your year here, buddy. What's the situation with it? What do we think? Where are you going to be in conjunction to coming into this next season? Are you going to be coming back stronger? Are you going to be coming back, epic? What are we seeing?
You know what? This has been a great season, and I love this car. I think off-season I am just going to practice so I can try to move up quicker and save a little bit more tires. I really enjoy racing these guys. This league is wonderful. I'm just going to try to drive a little bit stronger next season. I see we got some great drivers here, and it's just awesome. But I'm going to try, like I said, off the season, I'm going to try to just practice so I can get that top 5, top 3, maybe number 1, just for everybody.
No, man, that would be absolutely amazing to see. We will look forward to that one, John, seeing what you can do. But to be honest, if you're going to finish out a season, you're going to finish it off well, you might as well do it here at Hickory. That was absolutely an incredible race for everyone.
Thank you, guys. You guys are so awesome. You guys do a great job up there, and we all appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries, buddy. Anyone else you want to shout out before we let you go?
Yeah, I want to shout out to the league, Al, all the admins, myself, everybody, and I want to give a shout out to my wife. She just supports me doing this, and just want to tell her I love her. Thanks a lot, and can't wait for the next season.
Yeah, absolutely. Right, John, you take care there, buddy. Have a good one. Thank you very much for joining us.
You too, guys. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
Oh, cut him off there. Never mind. Apologies, John, if you watch it back. Right. I think for John Crutchley, he's right? He's got to go away. He's got to try and get some pace in that car. He loves the car. So I'm hoping he comes back stronger here as well. We'll have them results off the screen in a minute as well. So you'll be able to see some of these epic cars go round on the track once more. I want to catch up with somebody, but I'm not going to do that till a little bit later on in this one. How about you have a chat with Matt Harmon here, Jacob, and ask him about how he's got on?
Yeah, I mean, Matt Harmon, we got you up here in the booth, and I mean, it seemed like you had a very eventful race with everybody out there. But tell us a little bit about this Honeycutt deal. What was the deal, with you and James Honeycutt? Because it looked like one got another one, and then the other one got the other one. I mean, what was it all about? Was it just kind of, I guess you could say, retaliation, or what was it?
No, I think it was just bad timing. He had on the first one, he had some checkup in front of him, and I got into the back of him there, and I apologized to him quite a few times for spinning him out there, and then he, on the very next restart, got in the back of me, kind of same situation. I checked up a little bit, and he had a little bit better run, but wasn't no retaliation. We just hard short track racing.
Damn, we're trying to get all the beef that we can as much as we can. We're trying, but I mean, but you're able to fight back not only with all that, but there was just so much chaos going on tonight. I mean, that's just typical short track race. That's what I was telling JP a minute ago. It just seems like that's just typical short track racing, and not a bad job. Starting in the 12th spot, you end up getting a podium. I mean, basically it was just dodging all the chaos, right?
Oh yeah, that last caution was a big help for me getting up to the front, but just overall, I was trying to stay clean the race and save some tires there the first half and be there at the end to at least make a run for it. This is actually my first podium in this league, so this is pretty awesome.
Congratulations, buddy. Even though you did have me and Jacob trying to start a school playground fight between you and Honeycutt, unfortunately. So if you're watching back, just have a chuckle to yourself, mate. Don't take it seriously. We're already playing. But I think at the end of the day, look, to be honest, I think both me and Jacob and Dean in the background would be chuffed to hell to take your first podium at Hickory, because it was one hell of a race, Jacob, and we both sat here smiling, loving every second of it as well. So, dude, if you're going to do it, feel proud you've done it here, because it was an epic race to be doing it in.
Oh yeah, the guys up front all night, they were fast. Weedle was fast the whole night. Like I said, Ryan had the car to beat there at the end, and I just couldn't get up there.
Yeah, well, great job there, buddy. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go, mate?
Just a huge thank you to all the admin on TBP and everything that they do and making this a great league, and you guys for always putting on a great broadcast for us.
No worries there, buddy, at all. Well, thank you so much for joining us, mate, and we'll have a catch up with you soon now. Good job.
Yep. Thank you, guys.
Well, Jacob, if you're going to do... I'll tell you what, it has been absolutely epic racing with Matt Harmon. I do want to have a chat before we get to Ryan Hyatt. I'm hoping he's still here as well. I want to have a chat with Mr. Matt Perezzini, the man who was on race control. Matt, how are you, sir?
I'm good, James. How are you?
I'm very well. I want to have a conversation. Did you have complete control over yellows and things tonight? Is that what I'm getting from that, yeah?
No, not total control. iRacing still has control. So if iRacing throws the caution, it will still throw the caution. There were a few cautions that I needed to throw. Of course, I had an issue with my button box on the very first caution. I tried throwing it, and it wouldn't throw it. Then iRacing threw it and caused a couple cars to go a lap down that shouldn't have gone a lap down. So we made sure we corrected that for those guys.
Right, okay. I want me and Jacob sat up here, and we've had Al in, we've had Mike Weeder in. Lucky enough, both of them. Al went and jumped on and apologized. Weeder graciously accepted it. Me, I would have been like Porky Pig with red-faced steam coming out here, Matt.
It wasn't one of Al's shiniest moments in the league. I'll put it that way.
No, they're definitely not. Did a black flag come into it? Did
Ye-
something come into it? Penalty
Yep.
wise come into it?
Yes, he did. You probably noticed on that particular caution, the 62 was given an EOL
Give up.
for
Oh,
the
sorry.
contact that spun out the 45, and then Al got a black flag because he didn't maintain position when cars were coming.
So did he get a black flag for the actual incident?
Yes. Oh, yes, he did.
All right. Okay. We
Yeah.
were.
So he was put to the back of the pack for that incident. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So he got to he dropped to the EOL. Yeah, he dropped to the end of the line on that one.
That's correct. You bet.
Did you sit there and think, oh, man, is it serious enough for a DQ? Is it serious enough for a stop and hold? Is it serious enough for that? Because it did look, both me and Jacob did say, it did look quite a bad incident. You know, a lot of the others were racing incidents, Matt, as well. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
I didn't sit there.
When I looked at it and everything like that, it was just, it's not a good thing to do and everything like that. But at the end of the day, the way that our rule book is written for our league, that would normally just be an end of line penalty. The only thing that you're going to get DQ'd for if you're in our league, basically as a driver, basically you're going to have to intentionally take somebody out, like it's full intent, like you meant to do it. Or the other thing will be is that we have a very strong rule that if you decide that you're going to have a disagreement with race control on comms, that's an automatic disqualification.
Oh, well, me and Jacob did try and start a playground fight between Harmon and Hollycock because it did look like they were having a bit of a ding dong. There may have been a couple of love taps there from each other going forward. Matt, well, anyway, stunning job on race control tonight, mate. Absolutely loved the race as well. Going forward for you next season, are we going to see Matt Perezzini on track, or are you cemented into race control now?
The plan is, at least at this point, is that we're hoping that we're going to actually be able to suspend race control for next season. Hopefully not have to bring it back in. The reason we had to bring it back in is things got a little out of control after about race 5 this season, and then we had to bring it in. So we're hoping that we don't have to. We're hoping that the 24 car can come back out there and race with the guys. I'd like to get back out racing. I missed a lot of races this season, not just in late models. I missed a lot of races in NextGen and Gen 4. So we're going to try to come back. I mean, we're the champion from NextGen in Season 1 and the champion from Gen 4 in Season 1. And I'd really like to have another one of them trophies for next year.
Yeah, I bet you do there as well. Well, Matt, thank you so much, buddy. I hope you have a good one. Anyone you want to shout out before I let you go?
Just thanks to you guys again for doing the broadcast. We started this thing, us group of guys, we started it back in, I think it was January, February of this year. And, I got to thank the league admins. All of us have worked really hard to get the league to the point it's at now. We are very happy about where we've ended up. We're looking forward to our winter break that's coming up here for a month. And then, January comes, we're going to get right into Season 4.
Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Well, thank you so much. We're going to have a chat with a race winner eventually now as well after getting through everybody. Matt, been a pleasure as always, is this, sir? And we'll catch up with you soon.
Yeah, you bet. Thanks, James.
Well, guys, we will get the results off the screen in a minute and be able to show you some of the epic action that's taken place here. Jacob, he did say he got an EOL. He did say he got an end of line. Was that punishable enough, do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was. I mean, honestly, I mean, you don't want to really, DQ anybody, just for having just a little bit of a, I guess you could say, just getting a little bit pissed off like we was talking about. So you really don't want to, DQ anybody when somebody has that little bit of a problem right there. But I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you got to throw out some kind of penalty at that point.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think the penalty had to come out. Whether or not it was that, I don't know. Should have been a stop and hold for a minute, whatever.
No.
It was like, I don't know. To be honest, I don't do race control. I try and keep my nose out of it. I just normally end up in the steward's booth for comments I've said during the broadcast. But anyway, let's have a chat. You're laughing, mate. You wait till it happens to you.
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Do you trust me, it does happen. Let's have a chat with the race winner. Ryan Hyatt is in the booth with us. Ryan, we finally got through everyone there, buddy. How are you, dear sir?
Oh, I'm pretty stoked tonight.
All right, tell us from your perspective, man, as well. How did the race go overall? Give us your rundown.
Holy cow. I don't know. Start of the race was interesting. Almost got in a big old wreck and then managed to keep it going. And from there, just tried using some knowledge I'd gained a few years ago from running a test at Hickory to just save tires and try to keep it out front. And from there, it was back to the memory bank whenever Hazlitt got to me, and I knew he was going to be much faster than I, so I was having to throw curveballs at him and even threw myself into a curveball trying to keep in front of him, and somehow both he and I kept it going straight, and yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, it definitely was as well. We did see that at one point, both of your side. Now, listen, we got to ask for the run of events, right? We had Mike Wheeler, who was, man, he was motoring. Absolutely motoring. He got into that contact with Al Corey. Do you feel you just kind of had your lucky horseshoe above your head here this evening? Because the Haslets will come in. They got into it as well. And I hate to be, the Christmas turkey in the Hazlitt household because they got into it as well. Do you feel you just had that luck on your side this evening?
I think so. I was just letting Mike Wheeler just do his thing once he passed me because I did not think that pace would be sustainable. But I guess if you're talking about lucky horseshoes, I guess that Mopar logo on the hood there kind of looks like a horseshoe. So maybe I did have a lucky horseshoe on my side.
Yeah, maybe you did. Jacob, anything for Ryan here?
No, I mean, he put on a fantastic race. Just want to congratulate him. I mean, he was able to start up front and be able to, lock it up and be able to get around all the, you pretty much done it right there, JP. You pretty much took all the questions that I was going to ask him right there at that point.
I'm sorry, Jacob.
No, you're good.
I can't remember who it was last week in the broadcast. Sorry to cut you off, but they asked me if I thought I could jump Al Corey, and I did not think that was possible. And somehow, I guess based on the win, even though he finished second, somehow I did get him in points. So I don't remember who that was that asked me that last week, but I guess I did it.
Surprise!
Surprise!
Yeah. Hey, go put a lottery ticket on, brother. I tell you what, we don't even know the results. I've tried doing maths, and well, that ain't gonna work. So we're not even sure where it all ended up and who finished where and what and whenever. Anyway, but for you, Ryan, all we do know is that we know that you won. You won well. You survived everything that was going on behind you. You survived the Haslets coming at you. You survived Wheeler doing a run like a scolded cat away. You survived coming sideways at one point and then going back straight and carrying on as well. So for you itself, you can take this victory and sit quite proud of it, mate, because you did well throughout this.
Thank you, guys. Thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely stellar job. Ryan, anyone you want to shout out before we let you go?
I just want to thank Jeff Slaughter for putting on another broadcast for us. Love whenever you guys are around. Y'all do a great job, and I know y'all weren't there, but want to shout out Gecko Hawaii Clothing on the street stock tonight. We got a win for them as well there, so it was a double whammy for me tonight.
Yeah, awesome stuff, Betty. Well, you have a good one, mate. We look forward to hopefully seeing you back next season.
Absolutely.
Take care, man.
Y'all too.
Well, I don't. To be fair, Jacob, I'm not really sure what else we can say about that race apart from the fact Matt Harmon taking his first podium. We have Ryan Hyatt surviving. We had a very upset Al Corey somehow managing to finish second, who was wrecked 3 times before we'd even got to lap 20. There was just so much going on, but it just goes to show that for Al, even though he was upset and even though he was angry, he still drove to the point of where he finished second.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, talking about all this, Grant, it's like I said earlier, it's short track racing, and like I said, that's why, thousands and thousands of fans all across the country love to come and watch this stuff right here, watch, short track racing, because it's usually, in the real life, it's usually for the local short tracks. It's usually guys that, they may end up seeing in town, or they may have grew up, somebody, that works on a certain crew, or hell, they may even grew up with the drivers. So that's why a lot of fans, and that's why I've always been a big time guy about always being with the short track community, because that's what keeps racing going. I mean, you got, obviously you got NASCAR, you got the Cars Tour, all that stuff, going on, even, Lucas Oil, Late Model Dirt, all that crap going on and everything. And it's not crap, but what it is that this right here is your bread and butter. This is the short track. This is what the real race fans love to see. And Hickory never disappoints. I mean, it's one of the newer tracks that is on the iRacing service, and it did not disappoint. I mean, you got to see crashes, you got to see chaotic stuff go on, but you also got, like I said, you also got the long green flag run that a lot of people love to see, and that's the kind of racing that people love to see. And then you had some more crashes. You had some drama, which I know as well as anybody, everybody loves drama. I mean, drama was what makes the world go round, JP. That's just how it is.
Yep.
But you saw drama between two brothers trying to see if they could get the better of one another. And then they ended up basically screwing themselves out of a shot for the win. And then both of them not able to get a good finish out of it. I think Justin, I think he actually got a good finish out of it. I think Thomas did too. They got inside the top 10, but they could have had a shot to get the win. But in the end, I think back to an old school saying from my favorite driver, Dale Earnhardt Jr. He said it at Richmond back in 2004. Luck counts in this sport, because he had an absolutely horrible car that day, and he ended up finishing second. Ryan Hight's got to look at this and say, what could have happened? Because there's a lot of things that could have prevented him getting this win. But it's like we said, hey, he drove a hell of a race. He was able to keep it up there and be there when it mattered the most, and it worked out for him. But like we said, JP, this sucker could have went a whole lot different than it did. But congratulations, Ryan Hyatt for the win.
Yeah, no, I fully agree. I think he did an absolute stellar job. You know what I mean? I think, say, congratulations. Both of us probably will agree there was luck. I still don't think, and I swear blind, if Weeder's car was right after that Corey incident, it definitely wasn't, he would have won it. He would have won it. I know they said that we don't think his pace is sustainable. I don't think it mattered to Mike Weeder. I think he would have still gone out and taken this as well. And as you say, the Haslets were looking strong. Justin got 5th. Thomas got 11th. So he missed out on the 10th as well.
Oh, man, I thought he had it.
No, he got 11th in the end. And that's what I mean. There was so much going on. It was just an absolute incredible race here as well. Well, guys, that is going to wrap it up for the season for the late models here for the Triple Bypass League. Don't forget, though, we've still got a lot more racing coming up. One of the things I want to point you out, because I am absolutely going to love this. Tomorrow night, we are doing trucks at Thruxton on a Assetto Corsa, and you will see me driving, okay? You will see, mate, trucks. Big power machines, Jacob. They're wicked to drive on a Assetto Corsa. Then we've got the Radicals. Then we've got the TCRs on Friday. Don't forget, we've got the R Factor 98s coming back on Saturday. We do find out what their next historic season dates will be. We've got the Sim Race for Simpletons on as well, the Super Formulas, the Premier Endurance GT4s. So that's the final round, GT3, sorry, final round from Suzuka. And then we round off at the evenings of racing with Watkins Glen round 12. In there as well, we've also got the Racers Elite. The video's not up and ready yet, but it will be up tomorrow. But guys, I've been James Parfitt alongside Jacob Reeves with Dean Biggles in the booth in the background, providing us with all these epic shots. And as always, and will always be, take care, have a great week, and you never know, we might just see you on a track sometime. Good night.